Welcome to another episode of Exploring the Vintage NFT Space podcast with Zero G. Today I'm excited to have with me Boost, one of the OG Rare Pepe artists and also the founder of Dank Rares. Thanks for joining me today.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to chatting with you today. You've created quite the library of both Rare Pepes and Dank Rares and created the Dank Rare project. So that's going to be fun to talk about. But before we get to that, why don't you tell me your story about how you learned about crypto, but and also what was compelling enough to get you to actually make the leap to make your first purchase?
I actually got started actually participating probably 2013, so a little bit late, but still early. Uh, didn't know a whole lot about it. I'd heard about it, but didn't take an interest in it really. I kind of stumbled upon it in 2009, but I was a complete idiot and young and didn't understand what I guess the whole concept was, you know, mining and what it was trying to do. I just didn't understand. I didn't have enough, I guess, and I didn't look at it for very long either. It was just kind of one day I stumbled upon it. But then I heard about it regularly, like 2011, 2012, and then I never even looked at a chart of the price or anything.
Mhm.
I just completely dismissed. I didn't even look at the price. I just dismissed it. And then I pulled up a chart in 2013, and I was like, "Oh, I'm." It was kind of surprised, and so I started, you know, reading and going down the rabbit hole, I suppose.
Yeah, interesting. Well, what was compelling enough about Bitcoin to actually make you decide to actually take that first jump in order to buy some? Was it the price action or what was it?
Well, I made an account on Mount Gox a week before they went offline, so they never finished my KYC, and then everybody got rugged. Um, but more so probably, I mean, the aspect of proof of work and just how it was created was more so interesting, but also, just the permissionless aspect and um, being outside of the scope of being issued by a central entity probably was the kind of wow factor that something had, you know, kind of broken the restrictive boundaries usually that are, you know, governments and law, I guess, and
Yeah.
takes a lot to, I guess, be successful like Bitcoin has. It's not easy, right?
Yeah, I mean, the more you dig into the history of nation state currencies and fiat and all that stuff, the worse it looks. And like you said, there's been so many startups or people that tried to start, you know, independent currencies in the US that got completely crushed, like e-gold and Liberty dollars and whatnot. So yeah, for sure.
Um, yeah, so I started collecting GPUs and just Bitcoin talk browsing. Um, mine Dash for a little bit, just whatever random altcoin was, popping or whatever was uh, the the coin of the times, I guess. And pretty regular on Poloniex also. So
Yeah, good times. I remember Poloniex used to be at least in the US, kind of like the go-to exchange for a while for alts. So yeah, a lot of fun. It's funny to think back now on all the coins that that are consigned to the dustbin of history or basically valueless now. So
A lot of rugs. Yeah.
oh yeah, tremendous amount of rugs. Jeez.
So many things were just so hyped up, and you look at them now and like they might have one exchange. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like so, and looking back too, so few actually brought a meaningful advance to the space. I mean, I think, you know, like Monero is really cool for what it brought in Zcash, even though it's kind of like, has its founders and it's like payback system, or they have that royalty where essentially the coin company gets the proceeds. Regardless of that, the fact that they actually part of that goes towards like cryptographers that specialize in the space, that benefits all the projects is, I think, really really cool from that regard too. Yeah. So well, cool. So yeah, when did you how did you find out about Counterparty and the NFT scene back in the day?
I had seen Counterparty just as an altcoin, but I didn't use it. I found a Bitcoin talk thread on Rare Pepes like really early on, like right after it started. So I just kind of jumped into the Telegram and made a card, submitted it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean that's yeah, you certainly did get in super early. Um, your first one is Pepe Pope, which is one of the Dank season one cards. Um, before you created these cards, had you ever done any graphics or memes or posted stuff online before?
Absolutely none.
Oh wow, this is your first go.
Yep.
Did you just use like Paint or Photoshop, or what'd you do?
Actually, I used a website called pixlr.com.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, well, Pepe Pope is definitely a fun one. Was there actually a Time magazine for the Pope back then that you were like rehashing for that?
There was, I think it was Pope Francis,
Okay.
but yeah, it's a pretty nostalgic card for just, I guess me, but yeah. So I'm happy that like that was my card one, or my first card that I made. I don't have any regrets.
Yeah, it's for me it's definitely a grail. I hope to one day get one of those, but as a low issuance series one, they're pretty much impossible to get. So yeah,
Yeah, I wish
definitely,
I had one.
yeah, definitely cool. Like great work on that. Yeah, so when you after you released your first one, you have cards in season two. So did you just like start right away and like working on your on other ones? Did you just like create them all in a batch?
Uh, no, it was, well, pretty much one at a time, but it was it was a really small window for like series two, no more than 48 hours, maybe 72. I mean, it was like
Wow.
series one was over, boom, series two was like over, and yeah, I mean, it didn't last long at all. I was kind of surprised because I didn't get a lot of friction for trying to sub pretty quickly, or like have a lot of
Mhm.
submissions in series two. I was kind of surprised. It was pretty uncensored.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize that the season two went that fast.
It
So
was really really quick. Yeah.
yeah, cool. Your first series two card in there is Pepe Breeder. Like yeah, that's a fun one. What's the story on that one?
I don't know what. kind of prompted me to make that card. I know like the content was from a YouTube video of some girl that fornicated with dogs, I think.
Oh God.
So um yeah, she would yeah, I guess she would brag about her fornications with dogs and stuff. So I just thought it'd be funny. I don't know. I kind of wanted to make a Doge card. I mean, I've always liked Dogecoin or the meme, I guess. Thought it was pretty funny. So I wanted to make a Doge card. So I was like, all right, this girl likes to fornicate with dogs. So I'll just make her a Pepe Doge thing. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, cool. And I think one of your like iconic ones is Pepe Rush 2, which came next. Which features the Nakamoto too.
Yeah, that was the first card to actually I don't think super I guess to use the Nakamoto card, superimpose it, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I was really proud of myself for that one. Um, I was kind of surprised that I was able to get that out, and yeah, I don't know, but it's a really cool card.
Yeah, that's definitely fun. I like the way you pepified the Bob Ross's face on that one too.
I think that was like I think that card was the prompt for with the directory called the immutable Pepe blockchain. Um, because originally he had like bloodshot eyes. I don't know why. I don't know why I made it like that or whatever. But originally he had like bloodshot eyes and like he was high, and I decided to edit it out, and I gave him some normal kind of Pepe eyes. But that was like the start of the immutable Pepe blockchain.
I never heard of that one.
Yeah, not a lot of people probably aware of that, but
How many cards were part of that one?
well, no, it was just kind of a rule, I guess, of like, you know, it is what it is when you
Mhm.
submit it. Like you can't go back and
Oh, I see.
yeah, it's
So
kind of
when you
like a
submitted it, it had the bloodshot eyes, and then you updated the descript like you updated it afterwards and updated the token description to point the.
no, actually originally none of the tokens had actual images on Counterparty.
Okay.
It was just like the token, the image was hosted on the directory website.
Oh, okay.
So it's completely a like figurative term, with the immutable Pepe blockchain. It's not literal in any way.
Sure. Okay,
Yeah.
so I didn't know
It
that
was
the
kind of
first.
a meme.
Yeah, I didn't
Sorry.
realize that the initially with for at least the first series, couple series that you guys weren't like setting the description and the token originally to point to an image.
No, it was years before. Um, I think some people pointed to, I think actually the very first thing, someone actually hashed an image on chain.
Yeah, that was China Pepe.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
someone
they put
actually had an image on chain, and I think that was before anything pointed to any type of hosting. And then I
okay.
think I didn't pay much attention after the directory closed, but I think it was like a year, maybe 2 or 3 that until people started pointing at hosting and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, good to know for sure. Um, yeah. Um, and Pepe Library is another one you were able to squeeze into season two. That's definitely cool.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty cool. I have some regrets about that one though. Like I wish Um, I wish I wouldn't have made it a like a stick figure kind of thing with a Pepe head on it, but yeah, I don't know. It's just the way it came out, and I don't know why I did it like that. But yeah. So, but yeah, it conceptually though, it's kind of a cool card.
Yeah, for sure. And did the Pepe crystal, which is that a reference to like the was it bit crystals or whatever SOG was using back in the day?
Yeah, I was just taking a shit on bit crystals, basically.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and uh, I always thought that was kind of a fun looking one, especially the having the you know the Pepe in the background too. You know,
Yeah, my graphic design skills were pretty atrocious.
you're probably better than me. So um, and Big Vern Pepe, that's a fun one. I think that one turned out pretty well.
Yeah, the artwork is fucking great, and I'm sorry if I don't know if I'm supposed to curse or not, but
Yeah, sure, whatever.
yeah, the artwork's great, and the description is like so. I don't know. Probably would have done it differently if I could do it over, but it's not. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's okay. So yeah, Cripsy days, crazy.
Yeah, I did they ever catch that guy or did he just disappear completely?
Um, I I can't remember honestly. I don't know what I don't think he ever got in trouble. Uh, but I don't know. I can't remember. A long time ago.
Yeah, yeah, definitely good times. You know, so many of those guys that have rugged or exit scammed their exchanges. Um, yeah, and your next one was Phoenix Pepe. That's definitely a cool one too.
Yeah, I don't know where my mind was when I made that card because uh it's obviously not green. And
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know where my head was when I made that card, but it's obviously not green, and yeah, I don't even know. But
Well, it got in.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you know, and your next card is like a infamous card. You know, the Homer Pepe. Now that's what's the story on that?
I had a an acquaintance, I guess, that I I guess kind of looked up to and shared mm, a, quite a bit of experience with, and just yeah, had a kind of a weird relationship with this person, and they were just a really big Simpsons fan. So um, I kind of made that card in light of my relationship with them, and just like yeah, I don't know. I just was thinking about them when I made the card, and um, it's not someone that I really was talking to at that point, but I still don't talk to them, but they still hold like a kind of like a special place, um, you know, in my history and my past experience. So yeah.
Did you give that card to them originally, or did you just um like create it and then just sell it?
No, I didn't give it to him. I just made it and sold it for like $50 or something, $100. I can't remember.
And that's yeah, definitely a cool card for sure.
Yeah, it means a lot to me, actually.
Mhm.
I wish I still had it, honestly. And I wish I could give it to the person who is the reason I kind of made it.
Mhm.
So I kind of regret that, but
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like it had a lot of importance.
yeah, it yeah, it does.
Yeah, your next card was again, we're still on season two, and you're able to just like a ton of submissions in there. You got Dexter Pepe, which which is pretty fun. Um, and is that like a pepified Sonic in the back?
Uh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, what was the
Um,
what was the what's the story on that card?
uh, I don't know. I just had like a Dexter's Laboratory kind of feel when I started making the cards, kind of, just I don't know. I guess I was just kind of expressing what was like going on in my head. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like a play on like MLG and like it's kind of like a preface to the next card. So like the next card was like kind of this supposed to be this like really crazy kind of, I guess, impressive, you know, um, great card,
You're
like an
talking about
MLG quality card,
mhm.
right? Um,
And the next one you're referencing would be like Club Pepe.
right, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. How did you produce that one?
You mean like the actual Pepe?
Yeah, yeah. I mean it has a pretty cool effect. I don't again being a noob with all these image manipulation tools, I don't even know how you do that.
I actually didn't do that part. I found it on some black market website and I just I just you know added some things to it and turned it
Mhm.
into a dank meme, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one of the cooler of the low supply cards for sure.
Yeah, I kind of got some shit from Mike for copying and pasting the just the Pepe in the background, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it looks cool.
Yeah, wish I had one, but
Yeah, so you ended up selling most of your early cards, right?
yeah, for the most part, the early series ones, yeah. I still have some Pepe libraries and a few of the other ones, but not the low supply ones.
Yeah, yeah, that's a bummer. Well, I mean, who could have imagined, what would pop off in the following years, though?
Uh, I mean, I was really biased towards them, doing really well, and like I was pretty biased to them being really expensive, but I just didn't care. So
Yeah,
they they're actually a lot less popular than I thought they would be.
oh, really?
Yeah, I thought they would be like a lot more popular and have gone like super viral, but I don't know. They haven't done what I thought they would do.
Well, even I'm a little bit surprised that, after the NFT boom we had in 2021, that, Rare Pepes didn't actually take off and have an even bigger following to this day. So, I'm a
Yeah,
little bit surprised too.
right.
Yeah, your next card is definitely super cool too. The rare coin meme. that which is making fun of that. There was that wasn't there that graphic that's making fun of the Fed? Is that what you base this off of?
Yeah, I didn't again, I didn't make the original background image.
Mhm.
I can't remember. I think it was from like a comic or something, and then I just kind of tweaked it a little bit, added some pepes and stuff, and yeah. I mean, I was a economics major in college, and
Mhm.
I dropped out, so um, I guess I was taking a stab or taking a jab at the Federal Reserve. Yeah, so doing what they do.
Yeah, one of the biggest scams in the world.
Some would say, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and well, yeah, I like the way it turned out, for sure. But your next two cards are also notable. I think they're the first like two card NFT set that is at least as far as I'm aware of, right? The Pepe Power One and Pepe Power Two.
Yeah, it was. I, well, it was the first kind of labeled set. I think there was people that used like a similar template, um, and just kind of had like some differing artwork, but like, I kind of labeled it as like a set card, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to make GIFs,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I was like, you know, let's make this a little bit rarer and have just like a few scenes, and why not?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it felt rare when I did it.
Yeah, it's definitely cool.
Yeah, conceptually, I think it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially with what's the Pepe on the wall, the what's his name? The Cuban guy.
Castro, is that?
Yeah, Fidel Castro. Sorry,
Oh, why'd you choose that for the background?
just because it's just I don't know, just it felt pretty mimetic, and I don't know, I just kind of he was like he to me he kind of just threatened like the norm,
Yeah.
so it kind of I guess kind of felt like analogous to like what Pepe's might do to crypto, or just kind of just disturbing the norm, and you know the the
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and your next card was Pepe Counter. What's the story on that one?
uh I just wanted to make a dank meme, so um there's the I guess you look in the center of the black hole, there's the RuneScape elf.
Oh, I never know that.
Yeah, the RuneScape elf is in the middle. So I think like a year or two earlier, there was this meme. It was like born too early, or
Yeah.
it was born born too late to um do born too late to something, and like born born too early to explore I don't know. It's like but born just in time to make dank memes or something. Um,
Hmm.
hold on, I was born. Forgot what it was. It's been a while. Born too late to explore the Earth, born too soon to explore the galaxy, born just in time to browse dank memes. So, um, yeah, it's just kind of a play on the gnome being in the galaxy, and it's like, yeah. So, And then it kind of it played into my Pepe Power set
Hmm.
a little bit, so I was just having fun, really.
Cool. Yeah, well that's definitely interesting. And and so that was your first one in series three. Was series three as fast as series two for the submissions?
No, not nearly as fast because I kind of stopped submitting in series three. Um, but it was quite a bit slower. It was probably like a week, maybe two
Okay.
weeks.
Cool. Yeah, your next one was smug glasses, which is what's the story on that one?
Um, I don't, I just thought it was pretty funny. I just had an idea, so I just kind of went with it, and it was like a way of making a card with not like kind of having like shitty artwork because obviously my graphic design skills were pretty bad. So like it was kind of like he didn't have his glasses on, so he couldn't really see shit. So like it was kind of making a play on that.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's why everything's kind of like low def and stick figure in the background.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And your next one, which is another one of one, is the My Little Pepe, which is a really funny one with Bojack riding I guess a pepified pony. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was kind of like uh, a weird take on Pepe. Yeah, I don't know when I was really high when like at the middle of series two and like these series three cards. I was in space. I was so high when I made some of these cards. So like it's like there's a lot of like mental acrobats with these or acrobatics with these cards and like not a lot of you know, graphic design dedication, but
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it's definitely a funny card. Is there a reason you decided to go with the one-on-one for this one at the time?
it just felt rare and
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. So um I didn't, I just wanted to make it rare.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, it's definitely one of the funnier ones from the early series for sure. Um,
That's the favorite card that I have. Um it's my favorite that I made.
yeah, it's one of my favorite too. In a similar vein as your as the Pepe counter, you have the fractal Pepe. I know there was that meme that I remember seeing that gnome as part of the meme back then. What's the story on this one?
Um uh mm, it it's kind of a play on just like Ponzi's,
Hmm.
he's there's the little Ponzi Pepe in it.
Hmm.
But it was just kind of like a play on never ending Ponzi's of crypto,
Hmm.
basically. So
Oh yeah, I never even noticed that in the actual card image, the little pyramid Pepe thing. So that makes sense. That's
right,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know how I missed that all the time. Yeah, cool. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, hey, we still have, Ponzi's all the stuff all the time to this day too. So,
for
um,
sure.
yeah, and hers Pepe is definitely cool. What was your inspiration there? I mean, I know that you've got the Monero logo there.
Which Pepe is this?
Mars Pepe?
Oh, um, yeah. I just I saw something and thought I could turn it into a pretty funny meme. Um,
Were you big into Monero back in the day?
Not really, but I just I don't know. Monero felt really organic and like it seemed like real kind of crypto, if there is such a thing. And it just probably the way it traded just kind of drew me in.
Hmm.
It wasn't like really, it wasn't like pump and dumpy. It was just, it was seemed organic and you could mine it. And I guess I favored good proof of work kind of coins maybe. So I don't know. And yeah, I just thought it'd make a funny meme.
Yeah, definitely cool. Um, and I forgot to ask too, did you keep the original like well, since you were doing that in Pixlr, you didn't actually have a project that you could keep the original like, you know, like setup for these cards, right?
Right. Yeah. I don't have any of the image data.
Okay. Yeah, bummer. Yeah. Your next one is the CSAT, the closed source alpha technology. What's the story with that one?
Um, well, it's a play on a few things, probably. Um, I guess the first kind of idea that kind of I wanted to hit on maybe was like maybe like be able if I could ever like mine um like a the card
Mhm.
in any way. Um, so that was kind of like that was part of it. Um, because I pulled the text from GPU listings.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I pulled the text from like GPU descriptions and just kind of tweaked it a little bit. Um, and then yeah, I threw the Apple logo on there because I just there's this kind of theme in Rare Pepe where like it was like who could ideologically like make the like most kind of like expensive theme. It's
Oh yeah.
like Pepe Cash. It's like useful for buying these like really expensive things or like the like whether it's the Mona Lisa or like you have like the Versace Pepes or the fine art Pepes. There was like kind of a theme where like people would try to make something that would like kind of portray being like giving the card like a lot of like value. So I just like threw the Apple logo on there too, just to um kind of portray that like like whatever the market cap of Apple was. And then like kind of carry the I guess like the investment thesis, of like if Apple's a great investment, um, you know, to the card. And it was also a play on Apple saying that their software uh was, secure and encrypted and like all of the promises that they tried to feed people about security and stuff like that because
Yeah,
none
because
of it was.
back then they were still using PC hardware, so they were trying to differentiate themselves with their software back then, right?
You mean like where they were using like Intel processors
Yeah.
and stuff,
Yeah, that's back when
MacBooks?
they're yeah, yeah. That was back when they're still using Intel stuff, from what I remember.
I think they were using Snapdragon chips in their phones. I don't. I can't.
Yeah, yeah, but on their MacBooks they were Intel. Anyway,
Yeah,
I assumed that maybe that was part of it.
yeah, but they're full of shit, and none of it is secure. So I was making a play on that too, and um, yeah, I don't know. It was just the I guess crypto is like pretty like open source ecosystem. So I was like, fuck it. I just didn't want to let just people get my you know my super amazing technology, I
Yeah.
guess. So yeah. And then so there's a misspelling on that card also. And I I had a GPU, it was an XFX graphics card, and I
Hmm.
guess they had a series where there was a misspelling on the box,
Hmm.
like the same misspelling. I made a sub asset with a picture of the actual box and the same misspelling on the box that's in the card.
Oh, cool.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty funny.
yeah, the card's pretty cool, I think. So
Yeah. Why did you choose to make it like this was your highest issuance card at like just under 100,000? Why'd you choose to do it at with such a high issuance?
just because if there was ever a way to mine the XCP assets, I wanted
Okay.
something that, yeah, and I can't remember if that was the card that made the directory create like a supply rule because I wanted to mint a really, really high supply. And there was like, I guess there was some contention as to like how many I could mint. I think that was like the card that made them create a rule about max issuance at
Okay.
100K because I was trying to mint something like in the millions or billions.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, for sure. I guess you could have gone with the system, like they did for FD card where they had, you know, proof of work where they rewarded with the FLD coin. You could have just used this as like the reward token for, you know, proof of work type thing.
Yeah, I I was hoping for something a little bit more direct, which
Yeah.
is kind of like where I am now with like what I would like to do with Dank Directory or things I'm working on now. I don't know if you want to get to that later, but
Yeah, sure. We've just got a few more of your cards to go through, and we'll jump over to the story of Dank Directory and what you're working on there too.
yeah, Mike
Um,
actually helped me make CSAT though.
what's
I
that?
I got I said Mike actually helped me make
Oh, did
CSAT.
he?
He gave me a little bit of input. I mean, we discussed it a little bit, and he, you know, kind of pointed me, in the direction I was trying to get to, I guess, maybe a little bit. So
Oh, cool. Well, that's cool. Your next card is RP Dumpster. Um, what's the story on that one?
um I just thought it would be funny and just add to the meme, you know, like the XFX graphics cards were just garbage. They were
Mhm.
so bad. So and that's where the misspelling came from. And then they overheated so bad and the fans broke and then I ended up burning a bunch of RP dumpster down the road. So
Oh, so it's just a play on the on how terrible those graphics cards were at the time.
basically, and like just there was like a lot of shit coins in the
Mhm.
ecosystem, and
Yeah.
it was basically like like an advertisement, like, hey, cash out your shit coins and turn them into rare pepes.
Oh, I see. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
and it's like all the shit coins are going into the dumpster, and the GPU, it had a dividend, it had a CSAT dividend, that was paid out, I think it was like once a month, but I actually gave out a bunch of the RP dumpster
Mhm.
card. I had like a little, just like mini game where
Mhm.
like I would get people to post their addresses, and I would send a card to the first three people that posted. So that's kind of like where that came from, of people like dropping their addies, was
Yeah.
from my little mini game where people would try to post their address as fast as possible to get the drop.
Oh, that's cool.
And then
Yeah.
yeah, I paid out the CSAT as a dividend to like a lot of my other previous cards. So I think I gave away like 50K CSAT.
Mhm. Cool. Yeah, and your next one is the Pepe scavenger hunt. What's the story on that one?
Uh Nothing really specific, just thought it would be cool. I just wanted to make a card, so I just tried to make something that I thought was just funny or dank or whatever, and yeah.
Yeah, it looks
But
like you used.
also,
Oh, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, I also kind of wanted to go off of the concept that like using these tokens is like kind of like a ticket or whatever, because I kind of figured that was like one of the potential utilities for NFTs, was like a ticket, or like a redeemable kind of thing.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
I kind of considered it like I used like the Willy Wonka kind of golden ticket meme or whatever.
mhm. That's cool. It looks like you used that same Sonic hand-drawn Sonic in this Pepe in this one as you did in the Dexter Pepe, right?
Yeah, and they were dropping like geocached Pepes or whatever, so I thought it would be cool if like I kind of eventually did something to where like if you had the scav hunt card, you could like
Hmm.
redeem it. You could like redeem it and then like go on like a kind of like a geocaching kind of scavenger hunt to like actually like find rare Pepes, and just like this kind of like scavenger hunt game in like real life or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I
But
um
never.
I remember back in the day I didn't know about it at the time. I was only familiar with GeoCoin, but apparently they had a system called Takara that would allow you to do like geostash, especially counterparty assets. So
I never I never messed with the geocaching, but maybe I'll get there. I don't know if you can still do it because of I don't know if you needed like the Book of Orbs wallet, or I can't remember how it worked. I've never done it, so I don't know.
well, I think Mandelduck said I think it was last year, he said he's trying to revive that, like create a newer version of that. So I talked to him about that for a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's already revived or close to it. I need to follow up and see where that's at.
I'm surprised that the Ethereum NFTs haven't like tried to, you know, pillage that idea concept or whatever yet.
Yeah, that I'm not sure if anyone ever tried that. Like I said, the only one I was familiar with back in the day was GeoCoin, and that kind of ended up imploding because I don't think they ever really did any meaningful work on it. I followed them for a while and just kind of went nowhere. Um, but yeah, I mean, it still it's still a cool concept. Um, when I was talking to Mandelduck about that, like there's a lot of things you wouldn't think about right away that you have to do in order to make sure that it's not easily scammed. Like similar to like the Pokemon Go, to prevent people from like spoofing their location in order to like essentially, you know, rug or scam mine, stuff out of the world. So, it
Right.
takes a little,
Yeah.
it definitely takes a little bit of work to get a good implementation. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I mean, it's a fun concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your next card is the how do you pronounce that? Jiquan Shu?
Yeah. Someone actually got me to like make that card. I can't remember if they commissioned me or not. But I kind of made the card and gave them some of the supply. They just kind of told me what they wanted, and I just put something together. It is pretty cool though. It's like
It is.
and yeah,
Yeah, money tree with counterparty and Bitcoin and Pepe Cash. That makes sense with the
yeah.
Doria Nakamoto in the background. Yeah, and your next one was smug chips. What's the story on that one?
That was for the series that they wanted people to do like a drawing or something that wasn't like graphic design. They wanted like a physical card. So,
Okay.
yeah, I was like, wait, I'm just gonna get some poker chips and put Pepe faces on them.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and your one of your ones is I think is instantly recognizable as super cool as Paper Magic. What's the story on that one?
It was kind of a play on CSAT because obviously I used the same Pepe artwork. It was just kind of a play on the series one Magic Pepe and CSAT and like I guess the Magic Pepe is kind of like looks like a blotter print or whatever and um I guess like I was trying to carry like the theme of like going on a trip with CSAT into the blotter. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, cool. And I think you've done a bunch of sub assets for that too, right?
Yeah, just messed around and made some random sub assets with different stuff on it. And uh yeah, I can't remember how I distributed those. If I paid them, I think I paid them out as a dividend. I don't know. Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, and your last of the OG rares is Cactus Pepe. What's the story on that one?
Um it was just one of those cards that I I try to be really creative, I guess. So um I guess that's really all I was trying to do. Uh so and like we could still burn cards. So I just thought, cactus in the desert, it's really hot, gets burned up. Not all of them survived, and um, I thought the artwork was pretty funny as well. And I don't know, just I thought it was just a creative meme, so I went with it.
Yeah, you burned it down to a three supply,
Yep.
which is funny because right now the only listing is for like 420 BTC. So it's like okay, someone's out there having fun.
Yeah,
But
I gave that one away, but yeah,
did you?
yeah, that was the last one I had. I gave it away.
What so let's talk about dank rares. So what prompted you and what was the idea to start up your own series with dank rares?
Well, fake rares kind of broke the holy veil that Rare Pepe's had. There's a lot of time that went by and no one really tried to emulate the same the same concepts and, you know, do like a community curated project with like the Pepes and stuff. It was, you know, pretty forbidden kind of thing, I feel like. And I guess Fake Rares kind of broke that. And you know, again, I don't know if that was because I tried to start airdropping stuff in the Discord, but they started Fake Rares, and I didn't get any of the fake as fuck, and that was kind of part of it. But once they started the project, I bought some fake as fuck, and I made it. You know, I started making cards and tried to submit them, and yeah, I don't know why, but it just didn't process any of my submissions, and um, I get, you know, a little bit tired of that, so um, I I made a website or another directory. I didn't actually originally start the website. There was this person on Twitter. I just been sending him just Pepe's and rares and just XCP assets, and I think I sent him some Pepe Cash too or something. But I just sent him some OG Rare Pepes, and we just started talking, and then we started making memes, and we he just like spun up the website, and then we both just kind of started working on it and dropping memes, and opened up submissions, and people started just hopping on board. So, and then
Yes.
I did like the Dank meme cache airdrop, and I think it I think it took like 3 or 4 months, maybe 5 months, and I just gave everybody a million Dank meme cache because I was kind of irritated because the fake as fuck thing was like boom instantaneous, and like no one could get it, so it just didn't really feel right, you know.
Well, I know how you feel on that. I mean, I was around for, gosh, I was around for season one of Fake Rares, but because I wasn't there, like, I don't know, super early, I didn't get any of the fake ASFs either. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I didn't even. So yeah, I was lucky enough to I found your Telegram for Dank Rares, and I got a airdrop of the Dank meme cache. So I'm a Dank meme cache millionaire. So there's that.
Yeah, I tried to submit something for card 50, which was
Mhm,
um like the bidding war with
mhm,
fake as fuck to get the card.
mhm.
And I think I bid like 19 fake as fuck or 20 fake as fuck, and someone outbid me, and I was pretty salty about that. And I was kind of like, they kind of like burned the last bridge with me. Um, so yeah, that was like the Satoshi fake card, and so that was pretty much it for my relationship with fake rares. I think I left the chat and just focused on Dank Directory stuff.
Okay. Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, they definitely have a like you said, a different model for how they operate. So with fake rears, you have to have one of those fake ASFs. You have to destroy one of those in order to get into the directory once a card is accepted. Um, like what's the requirement for dank rares?
Just destroy 100,000 DMC.
Okay.
So kind of similar to Rare Pepe, but um, more Dank meme cache compared to Pepe Cash. I think submissions for Rare Pepe was like 10,000 Pepe Cash,
Hmm.
and that was one of the things that I think that they could have done differently, and maybe would have been a little bit better down the road.
Hmm.
Was just they didn't keep the submission fee static throughout like the the period of the directory being open and submissions
Mhm.
being open. So I wanted to have basically a static fee pretty much, and better distribution. Because there really was no distribution for Pepe Cash except for shitcoin card dividend. So nothing against Pepe Cash. I mean, but um, it's kind of a pain in the ass to airdrop to for 3 4 months to everybody. But
Yeah, cool. So yeah, since it requires such a big burn of bank meme cash, so you think that that holding on to that is a good strategy going forward?
if people keep submitting,
Mhm.
yeah, I I use about like 100 dank meme cash for
Mhm.
now to start kind of like a treasury thing to
Mhm.
where I would open a dispenser and take the Bitcoin from it and then buy XCP, and then eventually I'll use that XCP for like progressive bids for a derivative of DMC, which is the Dank Meme Cash dot 1 billion X, which is a sub asset.
Yeah, what's that?
Uh, Basically, I took uh, Dank Meme Cash and refactored the supply uh, to a different amount. Well, there's actually a 1 million X, and then there's the 1 billion X. But I just refactored the supply, and originally I was going to make it so that uh, all of the 1 million X or 1 billion X tokens were on a burn address with a dispenser set up so that when you sent Dank Meme Cash to it, essentially the Dank Meme Cash would be burned, right? And
Okay.
that address would be dead. But obviously, you can't set dispensers up uh, with for something uh, besides receiving Bitcoin.
Okay, I see. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, I just wanted to make a treasury uh, that would help give liquidity to 1 billion X once I kind of start the next project for that, which I can't actually do yet because the Dex doesn't work for Dank Meme Cash and Free Wallet. It works on the counter wallet, but not
Uh-huh.
not Free Wallet.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, the sub assets were going to be set up on a burn address, so people would send their DMC to them, and then they would get out like a refactored amount. Um, I think the 1 MX card has like 1,000 supply, and then the 1 billion X has like basically almost one. So my goal was to have a series where people submit and they instead burn like a small amount of the 1 million X or the 1 billion X token. And then in return for getting an approved submission, they would get my Satoshi fake card because it hadn't really been distributed yet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely cool. So, I mean, you've been so Dank Directory is running for over a year now. So, do you think that that's ever going to achieve the same status or the same popularity of rares, fake rares?
Did you said fake rares?
Yeah, as either fake rares or OG rares. I mean, do you think it'll ever kind of hit that like explode out like that?
Um, it really depends on me personally and w- how things play out for me just in real life. Just my own circumstances because like I have things I want to do and I have people that I could work with. So I need to like be able to do those things. And I've been kind of preoccupied. So um, you know, there's some technological barriers. Like one of the things I wanted to do, I was talking about being able to like mine XCP assets,
Mhm.
but I wanted to set up like a mining pool where you could uh you could essentially mine an XCP token, um probably divisibles at first, and then maybe figure out a way to do non-divisible tokens, but
Mhm.
basically have like a Bitcoin mining pool that subsidized the XCP tokens to as another way to pay miners. Um, so that's something I've been putting a lot of thought into and doing a lot of mental gymnastics to try and figure out like how it needs to work and all the small details that are gonna go into doing something like that. But I think if something like that, and I think it would be a good thing, but I think if something like that happened, then um, that I think that would be pretty explosive.
Yeah, I mean, since you're bringing that up, there like there's one way you could directly do that. That I've heard rumor that they're working on a virtual machine for Counterparty. If that happens, then you could kind of take a page from there's a couple projects like 0xBTC, and there was another project called like CryptoPepes where they did proof of work on Ethereum, and they directly rewarded you with a token. So you could potentially look at what they did there and use that type of setup too.
Yeah, it probably would be pretty. It'd probably be like a centralized service. Like I wanted it to be something where like artists could like send their token and then use the mining pool to like basically collateralize their token for hash rate, but not like that, to basically get a fee from what the pool takes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would give like artists liquidity. Um, it would give an extra incentive to miners. So I think it would be like, a net gain for everybody. But
Yeah, for sure. Interesting.
yeah, the economics of it are pretty hard though because I think Foundry or I don't know if it's Block Foundry or
Mhm.
just Foundry, but I think they take like 5K per block. I think they take a flat fee out of each block. I think it's like $5,000. But I probably would have to find someone that would like want to, invest in actually starting a mining operation to kind of like kickstart it or onboard like a whatever other miner that's substantially large because to get enough hash rate to actually find blocks is pretty difficult.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean it's super. Bitcoin's a you know super competitive for mining nowadays for sure.
Yeah, I kind of dabbled my feet in that in like 2018. I had like a 2 petahash Bitcoin mine that I ran myself. So it was like probably like 200 S9s, and
Mhm.
it was a pain in the ass. And it ended up flooding. And the person I was kind of doing it with was pretty normie. He was a regular guy that didn't really know anything about Bitcoin, and he kind of screwed me over pretty badly. He was a criminal attorney, so you know, easy for him to get away with it, I guess.
Jeez, that sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, it flooded. I put in like 2 years of work, didn't get paid. He basically took everything and took the insurance money from the flood and just fucked me pretty good. So
Ouch. Yeah, that sucks. Um, I mean, so I know you're around for, obviously you're around for the early Bitcoin days and have seen kind of Ethereum rise up. What do you think about Ethereum and the Ethereum NFT scene versus Bitcoin?
well, I think Ethereum it's has like niche utility, um, but not right now. I think it's just ahead of its time. Um, so it's like in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it just I don't think it will ever supersede Bitcoin. Um, but I think it's got utility. I think it's just not there yet, and um, I think there's a lot of wash selling with the NFTs that are on Ethereum. Um, so, and I think I, I guess there's
I
going to
mean,
be
there's
some.
I mean, to be fair though, there's wash trading on even on counterparty stuff too,
Oh
you know.
yeah, no, almost there always has been. There's most definitely wash selling, but I guess OpenSea kind of. Well, I guess it depends. If Ethereum is declared a security by the SEC, I don't know what that means for everything that's a token on Ethereum, um, and how those will be affected. And it seems like OpenSea uh, kind of facilitates a lot of these NFTs that even if Ethereum is not a security, it seems like that a lot of the NFTs that OpenSea is kind of facilitating the trading of is well that some of them are securities more or less, and I don't know what that means for OpenSea and where it puts them. I'm guessing that they reduce their fee to zero for a reason. Uh,
Yeah.
probably because of a lot of the uh the future of whatever the SEC case holds for Ripple, or I don't know, maybe they have someone knocking on their door. They know maybe they might be in some trouble if they don't do something differently. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think the government and their, how they treat crypto. I mean, the government has basically lost any legitimacy in my mind in terms of how they approach crypto. I understand that businesses have to comply with that, but um, whether they determine any of these things securities in a bigger picture, I don't know if that really matters if the rest of the world or if it's just going to force like freedom loving people into like dealing essentially in like a digital underground, right? I mean, like crypto's not going away, Bitcoin too. So unless the underlying cryptography is broken, right? So I don't know. I will just have to wait and see. But um, yeah, like you were saying that we're still waiting for a decision in like these the Ripple case, and you know, I guess what I'd say is, the SEC has demonstrated bad faith in their dealing with a lot of crypto companies and crypto startups, including like the library project, which I thought was a super cool distributed. They were trying to be like a decentralized YouTube type content service. So the SEC operated in bad faith with them. So and many other projects too. So um, anyway, like I said, I don't really, regardless how they rule, I don't necessarily respect or recognize the validity of their opinion.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, you said you kind of think Ethereum's ahead of itself and is more useful for a niche. Like, what niche do you think that Ethereum, does have a use for.
Um, More so like in situations where like you're not on this planet, I guess, or like you don't, mining is very restrictive or things like that, I guess. Yeah.
And so we're kind of getting, so we talked about your like your OG Rare Pepes and we talked a little bit about Dank Directory. I mean, like looking back, what does having created some of these iconic OG rares and starting this Dank Directory, what does that kind of mean for you, or what have you taken away from that, and what are some of your favorite you know experiences in the being in crypto?
Mm. Um, Favorite experiences in crypto is probably just mining shit coins. I feel like the earlier times were a lot more enjoyable, and um I feel like the learning curve was pretty nostalgic. If you weren't like a comp sci person, I feel like the learning curve was very nostalgic, and it's just a good time. And there was like there's always stuff happening, so um but yeah, shitcoin mining and mining Ethereum was pretty fun too. I've deleted a few private keys. That was an incredible time. Um, yeah, deleted, you know, private key with like 3.5 Bitcoin on it, uh, near the peak in 2018. Deleted a few Ethereum private keys right after that because I was pretty just lost when I was dealing with the Bitcoin operation that flooded, and I was just trying to do so much at once, and yeah, it was just a bad time. But it was still a good time. So yeah, you gotta see the good in it. But my favorite dank mm, probably it's called Directory One.
Mhm.
I think it's a Series 2 card. That's one of them. Another one is Rare Bobo.
Mhm.
You said you wanted to talk about the Bobo meme.
Yeah,
Uh,
I noticed that there's tons of Bobos that started appearing in the Dank directory, and I never understood or knew where the meme came from. So, yeah, can you kind of explain that?
yeah, I want to say it came from 4chan. I don't know though. I think it came from 4chan. It's pretty old though. I mean, like I feel like I had seen it in like 2016-ish, 2017. So I decided to kind of use the nostalgic design of Rare Pepe and carry it over to Rare Bobo. So yeah, but I think it's a 4chan meme. But still, it goes well though. I think with uh with Pepe's and XCP and just crypto.
Yeah, you've got a bunch of really cool Danks. One of the ones I like is as simple as the "I'm with Satoshi" one. Is super cool. And the
Yeah,
Wojak PT I thought was really cool.
the Wojak. Which one? What?
Wojak PT. I think it kind of goes with the previous card you did, which is like P liquidated, which is showing the
Oh
different.
no, I didn't. I didn't make those
Oh,
actually.
you did? Oh, okay.
No, I didn't make those. But
Oh,
yeah, those
there
are some.
you did. Didn't you do like the FTX Pepe for Dank Directory?
No, I didn't do that one.
Oh, okay.
That was the well, that was the person that helped make Dank Directory.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just attributed to you in Pepe WTF. So I need to
Oh, is
update.
it? Oh,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. He's quite the memeologist, if
Hmm.
you will.
Yeah. So I mean, we've talked about like some of your like I know you're a Bitcoin aficionado. So like, what are you looking forward to in the future for Bitcoin? We've got like the other halving coming up not too far away.
Yeah, it's almost exactly in a year, I think. Um, but I think 2.5 years, 3 years. I think Bitcoin price probably be around like, you know, ideally like 230K, 269K, something like that, probably.
While we're recording this, this is in early 2023, where it's I'm guessing like 24, 25K, something like that in that ballpark, you know.
You mean at the end of 23? What do
Well,
I think price will
just
be?
as of like as we're recording it, it's in the neighborhood of like 24, 25,000, while we're recording this. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's interesting. We kind of touched on like the SEC. One of the things that's going on right now in the crypto space is we see a coordinated effort by the U.S. government, and I expect a coordinated action with other governments to basically target exchanges and also the banks that facilitate their on ramp to the fiat world. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see how that plays out in the next year or two as well. You know,
Yeah, I think a lot of what's happening right now is mostly FUD. I don't um I don't think there's much merit behind even the Silvergate problem or controversy, or I think if
well, I mean,
I
they
think if
forced
they
them to
need
shut down though. That's like regardless of whether or not there's any truth to the accusations, they were wound up. That was announced a day or two ago.
yeah, I really feel like if some of these companies that are money transmitters, I feel like if they need, I feel like if they need uh a like a bank to use for their accounts, I don't think that I don't think that they'll have trouble. But it's not my expertise. I guess I'm obviously not a VC, so um, and I don't work for any of these companies, so I don't know exactly what their circumstances are. But I would imagine if VCs can dump as much money as they do, whether it's Howson or whoever, I feel like if they can dump so much money into Web3, that they should be able to figure out a way to, you know, to use uh, traditional banking to facilitate their I guess investments. I don't really see that as like an obstacle. So I think if they are pressed and they have to do something, I'm sure that they'll come up with a solution, if there's actually a problem. But at the moment, I guess there's you know some hardship, especially with the recent FTX debacle, and um, I'm sure some of them are waiting to see exactly what happens to him, and um, probably exactly how much money is in the different places, and who can actually be repaid and who can't, I guess. So I'm sure that people are curious to see how that turns out.
Yeah, I mean, the other part, I guess the other aspect too is regardless of if they are able to take down most of the major exchanges, crypto has gotten big enough to where there's BISC, there's local Bitcoins, there's and actually cash OTC too. Like they're never going to be able to crush it completely. They'll just make it a lot harder for normies to be able to, which which will damage, obviously that'll probably make the price go down when by making it harder for normies. But people who are already like believe in the vision, it's not going to stop them, right?
Yeah, and I mean we're only 20x above Mount Gox high, 2013, 10 years ago.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not that crazy. So, and compare the ecosystem now and the participation to back then. It's like, is there 20 times as, much participation? And, I feel like the ecosystem is at least 20 times what it was back then, and the services, the tools, the dedication. So I think it's just going to take a little bit of time to let the dust settle, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the FTX scandal has you know is a black mark, but you know there's a lot more, like, people no longer just out of hand like laugh at the idea of Bitcoin like they used to before, like 2016, 2017. So like you said, it's just gonna take time for this stuff to keep grinding forward. And both Bitcoin with Lightning and also Ethereum with all the, well, there's a tremendous amount of work they're doing on Ethereum too. I think it's amazing what they're doing too. So I think the future's really bright for crypto. You know.
Right. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. So I mean, going forward or looking forward, is there anything else that you're expecting or looking towards in the future with either the NFT or crypto space, or anything else that kind of got you excited?
Uh, Not really. I mean, it's pretty bleak right now, but I think I wish there was more participation in Dank Directory, um, from just, people that have been in crypto. But I think I think it's a lot of fun, and I think the people that do participate, I think they enjoy it a lot, and I think that, they're glad it's around. Um, and I think the potential is a lot higher. Um, so just gotta wait and see what happens.
Cool. Well, it's certainly been a lot of fun talking to you today. We covered a lot of topics and a lot of cards, and kind of like the crypto scene right now, and kind of where we may be going in the future too. But yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for taking the time out to chat with me today, Bruce.
Yeah, man, I had a good time.